The shattering didn't come with a bang, or even a whisper. It came with the tearing of reality itself. The cicatrix maledictum. The great rift opened, and it was an act of war against existence. A hole in space-time, a psychic hurricane that split the galaxy from one end to the other. For Ultramar, it was an extinction event. Overnight, trade routes vanished into non-space. Warp travel became impossible lottery tickets. Supply lines evaporated. Communication fell silent. Planets went dark. Some were erased by warp anomalies, their histories wiped clean. Others were consumed by demonic outbreaks that turned neighbor against neighbor in the space of an hour. Others simply starved, isolated and forgotten in the screaming void between stars. Imagine it, a person born into 10,000 years of peace, waking one day to a sky torn open, a sun that screams, memories melting like wax, neighbors turning into snarling monsters, with no hope of rescue. Not from him, not from anyone. Ultramar's greatest strength, its interdependence, became its fatal flaw. One world fell, and it dragged the next down with it in an inexorable chain reaction. And then, Guilliman was returned to life. And he looked upon this catastrophe, and he left again, to fight a war for the whole of mankind that was too big even for him. He launched the Indomitus Crusade and took the bulk of his strength away, leaving his perfect creation abandoned in its death throes. The 500 worlds were told to survive on their own, and they are failing. Let us be honest now. This is the state of Ultramar today, and anyone who tells you it is anything but a catastrophe is either a fool or a liar. The Great Rift still festers at its heart. The Indomitus beacon provides some stability, but travel remains a gamble. Worlds are isolated for months on end. Civil unrest is no longer a whisper, it's a roar. Governors who have only ever known the shadow of ultramarine rule are making their own laws now. They challenge the Codex. They question the Astartes' authority. The most dangerous question being asked in taverns and palaces across the sector is simple. Why should we still follow Guilliman if he has abandoned us? Chaos cults, once unthinkable in a realm of such rigid order, are thriving now. Instability births desperation. Desperation breeds faith. And faith in the warp, as ever, is like blood in water. And closing in from every direction is Hive Fleet Leviathan, the largest Tyranid threat the galaxy has ever known. It sees the 500 worlds not as a fortress, but as a colossal dying buffet. The Ultramarines themselves are spread too thin. Half their chapter is off-world on Indomitus crusades. The other half is stretched across failing worlds, trying to hold back a tide with bolters and prayers. They were built to protect an empire. They cannot hold together its ruins. Because Guilliman is gone again. He is the regent of Imperium, wrestling with demons in the halls of power on Terra. Every second he spends soothing the ego of some planetary governor or unraveling a bureaucratic nightmare is another second Ultramar slips closer to oblivion. Here's the truth they bury. Ultramar never needed a warrior. It always needed Guilliman, the administrator. And that man does not exist anymore. He is lost, even from his own creation. So what happens now? Tell me your theories in the comments below, but here are the paths before us. Possibility 1 is fracture. The 500 worlds could shatter into a dozen warring successor states, each with its own interpretation of the Codex Astartes, a galaxy of little blue empires tearing themselves apart. Possibility 2 is simple and brutal: collapse. If Leviathan pushes hard enough, if chaos consumes too many more worlds, if the rift opens wider, Ultramar may just cease to exist. Its name will be a footnote in a history book no one reads anymore. Possibility 3 is rebirth. The optimists say that in this crucible of failure, the 500 worlds could evolve into something new: a republic, a federation, a true human civilization built on the ruins of the old lie. Guilliman might return to find his home remade, stronger than ever, without him. Possibility 4 is the truth nobody wants to admit. The 500 worlds were never sustainable without Guilliman. They were not an empire, they were a reflection, a projection of his own will and intellect given form in metal and flesh. And now that he has gone for good, the reflection is fading. So let's hear it from you. Is Ultramar on the brink, or is this just a painful growing phase? Will it fracture, fall apart, or be reborn in fire? Or is it already lost, a beautiful corpse preserved only by memory and myth? The comments are waiting. Now, click the next video. There's another secret waiting to be uncovered in this bleak and broken universe of ours.